And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
Okay. This is my second time here, and I had a question about healing, but you answered it perfectly before we went on break. So that was answered because I'm an energy facilitator. But the first time that I came was in Buffalo, and when I sat down, I was in the front as well. I felt very drained. And that's happening again. Just my energy is just, and I don't know what's going on.
Well, everything is relational, isn't it?
Yes.
In fact, the whole reason that you even feel emotions is because you are two vibrational vantage points, meaning your inner being and you and your physical body, which means you have two vibrational point of attractions. And the more you are in alignment with who you really are, then the faster the energy moves. But sometimes what happens, since it's a comparative thing, when Esther first began receiving us, and through meditation she had learned to relax her mind and therefore allow her vibration to rise. But still, even in those early stages of blending who she is with who she is, there was a sort of swooning process, and afterwards she felt depleted. She would say to Jerry, what if you're using me up too much? And what it was introducing herself to a higher frequency than she was consistently up to speed with. That's all that it is. So you're just touching on a little bit faster vibration than you're used to. You're in close proximity to it. But if you were actually existing as you described yourself to be, you wouldn't have lighted up for us at all. What we see and how we find you in the room, it's not your visual. Your hand in the air lets us know you're willing, but it's the blending of the desire that you hold with your question and your readiness to hear it. And if there's not a close vicinity, then we don't find you in this way. So take the question further if you want to, or is there something else?
Well, you gave an example about the beginning of how Esther started, and that the vibration is moving faster and faster, so I'm getting drained.
We want to be clear about this because it's easy for you to misunderstand what we mean. So we're just going to slow down just a little bit and make sure. The vibration of who you really are is a very fast moving energy, but most people have been moving around in their physical body and they have not let themselves be fully acquainted or fully integrated with the energy that is really them. Most humans are pinched off to some degree, and most to quite a large degree, from the energy and the clarity that is really the consciousness that is who they are. So once you begin deliberately allowing your vibration to rise through appreciation and positive aspects and deliberate thinking and through meditation, then what happens is you introduce to your conscious mind and to your awareness of what your emotions feel like, you introduce to yourself a more conscious realization of that blending. It's your awareness of the blending that we want to call your attention to, because that blending is always there to some degree, but you couldn't exist in your physical bodies if you weren't being replenished and refueled from this source energy. Everyone is walking around as non-physical consciousness much more than they know, but once you become consciously aware of it, and once you are deliberately working to accomplish that relationship, then you are more keenly aware of what that relationship is, and then you get pickier about the way you describe it. We've been saying to people for years, right from the beginning of us flowing through Esther in this way, people would say, Abraham, is it normal for all hell to break loose in my life once I begin doing this work? And our answer was always yes, because as you allow your vibration to rise, now your vibrational relationship with that higher vibration is keener, which means your emotions are stronger, or they're not stronger, but you are more aware of them. And so it's that sort of thing. Do you acknowledge that you are an extension of source energy?
I do.
And do you acknowledge that everything that you are living is adding to the expansion of that?
Yes.
And do you acknowledge that it's possible in this life experience, in fact very likely with most people, that life is causing you to cause that part of you to expand more than you are able to keep up with?
Can you ask that again?
Does it feel logical to you that your life experience that you're living out here on the leading edge in this body and in this personality could be producing, through contrasting experiences and observation of life, could be producing faster moving energy for your inner being than you are able to keep up with?
I understand that.
So we talk about this vibrational gap between who you've become, which means who you really are, and who you're letting yourself be. So that feeling of drag, that feeling of not being up to speed, could be because of two factors, couldn't it? It could be you focused on something that's really just not letting you move in the direction, and it could be you are producing so much fast expansion with your inner being that your inner being is just moving. In other words, your inner being's having a growth spurt because of you. A really robust life causes that, you see. And so there are always those factors. Your inner being is ripping and roaring and snorting and having a wonderful time moving through your life experience, and your work is to manage that gap, and everything you feel is about your management of the gap. So you come into an environment like this with a vortex wide open, with source energy all over the place. We've got you outnumbered here in this room. The energy is really flowing, and suddenly your relationship with that faster moving energy, to a sensitive person who's becoming more and more aware of what that relationship is, you'd feel it in a stronger way. That makes perfect sense to you, doesn't it?
Yes.
Something more?
No.
Really good.
Thank
Really
you.
good. Yeah.